Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've gone out and I spent 200 quid on this absolute dog of an Astra. This is the cheapest car I've ever bought in my entire life, and there's a reason for that. It's absolutely battered. I'm going to try and save it and make a profit on it. Let's give it a go, see what happens. So this is how the car got dropped off to me. 200 quid bought me this absolute dog of an Astra. As you can see, it comes with a side skirt that's hanging off, rusty doors, rusty arches, and flat tyres. Hopefully they're just gone flat from where the car's been stood for the last 6 months. On the other side of the car, it's not actually too bad. Other than the battered wheels, the paintwork's actually looking pretty good. I don't think this car's been cleaned in a long time. It also comes with this hideous sunroof. Hopefully I can sell that and make an extra couple quid. Inside the car, it's actually looking quite tidy. I mean, it's filthy, but it's tidy. So I'm going to give these seats a good wet vac and the whole interior a good clean and shine. Get it like new. So the reason I was able to buy this car so cheap was because it was an MOT failure. Along with a lot of small defects, one of the big defects was welding on the rear seal. I haven't actually investigated it, so I'm hoping it's not that bad. It also comes with a starting problem. So the car comes with a brand new key by the looks of it. The old one's broken, there's no blade. It won't start unless you put the old key fob right up to the ignition, and then it will fire up. So I'm going to get down the key man, see if he can cut us a new key or code it at least. So before I start on anything else, I need to work out how bad this sill is. How much I'm going to have to replace, or even if I can replace it all. The SRI model comes with a side skirt. So to really see what's going on underneath there, I'm going to have to remove that and check out how bad it really is. So I've removed the side skirt off the passenger side here, and as I suspected, it was worse than it said on the MOT thing. So I've taken a hammer and I've started bashing underneath here, and stop the camera there. As you can see, the outer seal is really rotten, and it starts at the back there. There's a small hole. This bit of metal here is fairly solid. The outer seal is absolutely rotten, and that goes down along here more so, and then you've got a patch here. So if it was just that, I would cut away so it's clean steel and weld a patch, but I don't think I'm going to get away with that. So I've ordered a new seal, and I'm going to remove this in a second. New bit of plate, and we're going to fix this patch up here, because I think that's initially where the water was coming from, and then it was lying in here, and that's what's rotted it out over the years. So it's a bit of a job to do, but that new seal was only 60 quid, so not too bad. On the front end, we've got a subframe mounting point. These are really common on the Astra Mark V to rot out. I didn't know this before I bought it, but I certainly do now. So I'm going to have to make something up for that. Bit of 3mm plate. At this point, I've cut away all the rotten steel, and I'm about to prep all the other steel to make it easier to weld. What would have really helped would be if I stopped bashing stuff with a hammer and making more stuff fall out. So yeah, it won't weld if the steel's rotten, so everything's got to be cleaned and prepped. On the rear arch, there was a slight bubble of paint. I shouldn't have prodded that, because now I've got to replace this whole section, and that's going to mean getting it painted as well, so that set me back a good day or so. As you can see though, it really needed doing. Just where that water's come down on the edges there, it's rotted away all the plate, so it was really a weak point and it does need doing. Just about everything you look at on this car needs some work, so it's hard to know where to start. So I started on the back end, wire brushing this lot up, primer it, then repaint it. When there's so much to do on the car, you kind of you get disheartened. So I figured just do some really easy bits, and maybe that'll inspire me to carry on with it. Anyway, I've got to wait for these plates to arrive, so not much else I can do on the body side just for now. Fortunately for me, there's plenty more to get on with. Top of my list is the engine light. Luckily, I've cleared the code and it's not come back. I think that's because of the second defect there, an insecure battery. So the previous owner said he'd changed the battery recently, and I reckon there was already a fault code stored, and that was why the engine light was on. I've also got some headlights to clean up and some wing mirrors that are hanging on for life. So this is the wing mirror off the car. As you can see, a lovely bit of duct tape holding them together. Top stuff, buddy. By the looks of things, that plastic there is completely sheared off. I'm guessing it's been hit at some point and absolutely snapped it away from the mirror. I think I'm going to have to find a new pair of these. To re-secure the battery, I literally undid the clamp, put it back onto the battery, and then done it up again. The problem was the bolt wasn't getting tight, so you just had to put a nut underneath of it and then it tightened up. So that really solved that one nice and easily. One fail that I had was the water jets not working. So obviously I checked that the water was full, and then I went to the fuse to check if that was still operating. This should have a 10A fuse in it. It's got a 15, so it looks like someone's already been here. I decided to test the pump. For this, I made a makeshift 12 volt supply, some dodgy looking cables, and then I hooked it up to the pump. The pump looks like it's been played about with before. That ain't a normal pipe on the end, so someone's modified that. Not really too sure why. Anyway, let's connect it up and see what we get. The pump looks pretty good, so I'm going to go back to the connection to the pump. So I've refitted the pump. As you can see, this is the makeshift thing that was going on. I don't really know what that's for, but I've just put it back in place. Originally, there was a cable tie holding on the connector to the pump. I've tried redoing that, and the connection keeps coming apart. So what I've done, I've put a bit of tiger seal around the edges there, and I'm hoping that makes a better connection than the actual cable tie. So far so good, it seems to be working. So I'm on to day 2 of the Astra project. As you can see, this mount for the subframe is absolutely rotten. So I've got some new 3mm plate. I'm going to weld a new bracket in and then move on to the seal. Before cutting the old one away, I made sure I measured from a datum point to make sure that I wasn't adjusting the height of the subframe. If you do that, the steering could potentially be off. So I made this little bracket out of 3mm steel. Vauxhall actually make these, but they're about 60 quid, and I didn't want to waste any more of the budget, so I've welded that up. The new rear seal's arrived and I've started tacking it into place. That should sort the problem. It looks much tidier and it's going to be a lot stronger. With the seal tacked in, I really need this piece here. So far it's been a week and it ain't turned up. But it's a part I don't really want to make up myself. With this tacked in place, I've put primer on it. Just going to wait to get it all done now. With no sign of the rear arch turning up, I've picked up some mirrors from the local scrapyard. £20 for the pair, and a new leg, 20 quid, and these off eBay for a tenner. Will make the alloys look much better. The headlights, although not bad in the picture, are really cloudy. The best way I've found to do these is go through the grits and then use some of this stuff, 3M polishing. It works wonders. A tube of this stuff will cost you about 45 quid, but it's got me out of trouble so many times. Headlights, it's the absolute boy for that, and also scratches and things, it will polish them right out. As you can see from the results, that 45 quid was absolutely well worth it. I'm still waiting on this arch to turn up. I'm going to get on with the cosmetic stuff, get rid of these hideous roof bars, and then we can give this car a good clean polish up, and then wait for the last panel so we can get it MOT'd. The interior needs bringing back to life. As you can see, all the plastic trims and the seats, they're just a bit lifeless. So I've used one of these, a magic eraser. These are great for getting the dirt out of plastic. The seats and carpet all got a good hoover, and then it got a wet back. Not a great video, guys, but there you go. It took me about an hour, and it's really spruced up the interior, make it a lot easier to sell. These Astra seats, they are known for those rips. These are probably one of the better ones I've had. But overall, the interior is looking much more cleaner, and it smells much better in there too. So I'm currently 2.5 days worth of labour into the Astra project. So far, it's gone pretty well. It's almost ready for MOT, except for one thing. The panel still hasn't arrived for the rear arch. Actually, there's two things. I've also broken my wrist. So I'm out of the game for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to try and do the labour of one hand, but I don't think it's going to go very well. I've still got the side to weld in when it eventually turns up. I've got to paint it, there's an oil leak, and then MOT and sell. So I'm going to have to make a part 2 of this video. But yeah, hopefully be back in a few weeks. And thanks for watching, guys. Catch up with you then.